welcome to the Digital CxO podcast. I'm Amanda Razani, and with me today I have Pascal Menezes. He is the MEF CTO. How are you doing today? Or MEF, I should say.
Good, Amanda. How are you doing? I'm doing just fine.
Doing well. So before we get started, just for those who may not know, can you talk a little bit about MEF and what services that you provide?
Yeah, MEF, actually, MEF, is a forum, a nonprofit industry forum. And we were formed in 2001 and really basically pioneered the carrier Ethernet market and drove it to $80 billion. But that was all the way from 2001 to about 2016 and still growing and when gangbusters. I came in as a CTO in 2016, and we've been really evolving MEF to be much more than carrier Ethernet. Obviously, it's still important, but being what we call network as a service, and basically taking all that carrier Ethernet work and transports and making them on demand, and then going up into SD-WANs become huge, but application assurance. And then obviously cybersecurity is top of mind everybody. So we've done work on that, on standardization, SASE, on cybersecurity and SSE, ZTNA. And then we have a multi-cloud part to all of this NaaS story. So 4 themes: underlay, on demand, application assurance with SD-WAN, cybersecurity with SASE, SSE, ZTNA, and multi-cloud, including AI clouds and all kinds of clouds that are emerging. And all that's wrapped with our API automation. So when we talk about network as a service, basically, the ability to be able to buy anything as a service, turn it up as a service, like a cloud-like experience is critical. And automation plays a very critical part of that. So must be providing all of that blueprint for all of that capabilities.
Awesome. Yeah, and of course, all of that underlying technology is so important in most digital transformation initiatives as well.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody's on that digital transformation journey right now. Every company, every service provider, everybody. It's amazing.
Yes. So recently there was Mobile World Congress, of which MEF was a part of, and y'all had some pretty big announcements. Can you start off sharing with some of the most key announcements from that Congress, Mobile World Congress?
Yeah, absolutely. I got to say, it's been a really exciting time in 2025. We first started with 2025 with a big bang. We released our most impactful SDK, basically. And basically, that is really, really powerful because basically, in our SDK, we have the ability now to have and provide not only the business APIs, for quoting, ordering, and so on, but now we have all the operational capabilities that allows all the ecosystem to be able to provide observability across that ecosystem. So they can look at performance, fault, trouble ticket, all that kind of important information that every enterprise wants to see when they're connecting themselves as an ecosystem supplier. So that was a very important release. We released that in January. And then after that, Mobile World Congress, early March, we went and demonstrated 2 very fundamental things and very powerful. Number one, we showed this idea that everybody's talking about network APIs, specifically the ability for applications to interact with the network and to be able to either program it or be able to get information from it, and specifically 5G. So they call these Chimera APIs, the Linux Foundation, and GSMA. And these network APIs that have really been coming from Chimera, Linux Foundation, networking, these network APIs, and they actually very powerful, but they're very 5G focused. So what we showed was the ability for an application to interact with the network, but not only a 5G network, but a wireless and a wired network. So what we demonstrated was an application was doing a very critical capabilities of basically a remote technician was at a site doing and talking to a main expert at the main site, and they really had to rely on that video experience and making sure that the main expert could see everything. And what would be happening was that the quality, the expert was on a 5G wireless network. Well, sorry, the technician was a 5G wireless network at the site, and the expert was sitting back at headquarters, and basically the quality would diminish. And the application would automatically sense it and basically program into the 5G network and the wired network of an end-to-end to have that quality increased of bandwidth and quality of experience so that the expert at the main site could see what the technician could see. And basically that was all done real time. So really powerful. We showed that at GSMA's main pavilion, which is the Mobile World Congress. GSMA puts on that show, and it was very powerful to show the wired and the wireless network working together in an application programming the network through these network APIs. We call them quality and demand. That was really, really powerful.
Absolutely. I could see how that would be. Nothing would get dropped.
Yes, exactly. And it really just normally it would be some kind of user or someone had to call some help desk or someone to provision it. This was the application realizing it wasn't getting the quality, it automatically making these API calls to the network, both the wired and wireless network, and increasing that performance and quality. And then all of a sudden the application will work perfectly. So very powerful, and that's really what the future holds.
Definitely. So, what else? I know you had a few other announcements. There was, continue. Look like you're excited to share the next one.
Sure. Yeah. It was really funny because there was so much excitement and so much buzz at the show. And what we also showed was, with AI top of mind everywhere, we showed that the ability for this idea of that a customer could order at the edge a GPU. So we call it GPU as a service. The ability that basically a customer could say, at my edge, I really want some GPU services, so they could order, for example, tensor cores, the right clock speed, the memory, everything from the edge, and basically try to load their models on. So we actually showed through our APIs that you could do all that. And it was really powerful that basically the enterprise could order the GPU they wanted. It would go to that site location that they wanted to order from. They would provide from that requirements of tensor cores, memories, clock speeds, and so on. A quote would come out and say, yes, we can do it. And then basically on that, then basically they would go, okay, I want to order it. And they would order it. And then basically it'd flow through, enable that, whether it be at a partner network or in their network, enable those GPUs based on the location. And then the customer would go, great, now it's up and running. And then additionally, we showed with a AI model, this computer vision model from a partner, we showed the idea that basically the model would then load onto that GPU and actually run and take traffic management cameras from around the world and show traffic patterns of these traffic management, how they could optimize the lights and so on better. So very powerful, use case of the emergence of AI and how inference at the edge and latency becomes very important. Now, every enterprise wants to put AI models at branches and sites and edges to do very specific use cases. So very exciting to show that. Very advanced use case.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that you're able to share those use case ideas.
Yeah, it was so fun to be involved in these, emerging themes. And so we're very, very excited. Now, additionally, we just announced that, with our cybersecurity, SASE certification we launched last year at our G&E Global NaaS event in October, we've gone to GA general availability. Now we've have, tremendous providers and top vendors all certified for cybersecurity and how will they protect, and manage threats. Now we've added, one of the fathers of SASE, Joe Scarupa, who retired from Gartner, and he's one of the fathers with Neil McDonald. And he actually has joined our technology advisory board, where we meet 4 times a year with our board of directors and so on. And he's joined in with that tremendous expertise he brings. And he's going to be part of these discussions, how we continue to evolve our SASE certification. And so that's really, really, really exciting.
Absolutely. That's big. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, additionally, we will be having this this webinar that we'll be having on April 22nd at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I will be part of this, and we'll be talking about how you can gain a competitive edge with MEF certified SASE and SD-WAN, and that's going to be a very, very exciting webinar. So I hope many people can join that. It's free.
Yeah, absolutely. And would they just go to that site to register for that?
Yeah, I think you just go to, I don't know the details, but you basically go to mef.net, and I think you can look for events there and so on and find the webinar and join it for free. And it's very exciting because we're going to talk a lot about what we're doing with SASE certification and why it's so important to build that confidence in society and to remove these threats that are emerging from all over, and how we actually test and measure those threats. Like, for example, we test for over 1 million plus malwares, or samples of that, at least exploits, evasions, all of these critical threats are coming through the landscapes, of our enterprises and our even our homes and so on. So all our vendors, all the top vendors out there for cybersecurity are being testing and certifying against our certification. And it's a very powerful certification. And I hope many people join the webinar to learn about this.
Absolutely. So it seems like MEF is involved in many different things. From your experience, what are some of the key issues or concerns from business leaders in any of these areas that you just mentioned? And are there any trends you're seeing this year?
Amanda, it's so funny. There's so much going on. It's it's fun. It's so much fun, to be honest with you. There is, I just came back from the NVIDIA conference and there's so much going on there too. I think what we're seeing is, and this I think is a real powerful idea, that our service provider members, that we have 200 plus members, mainly 135 plus service providers worldwide, they're all have been building transports all over the world, business level transports and even the internet transports. But these business level transports have to be mission critical now. And they're now running AI workloads on them. And they're relying on the networks to handle these AI workloads. And without these business networks being very high quality and mission critical in nature, these AI workloads won't run correctly. So think about training, how they need wavelengths up 100 gig today, 400 gigabits per second to 800 to 1.6 terabits per second across the data centers to keep all these models up to date and synchronized, these larger foundational models. That's a big wave happening right now. And our APIs support this ability to buy and sell these wavelengths to connect them. Additionally, we see these idea that inference at the edge, we talked about the GPUs as a service and models and so on, but also the quality of the network, as I talked about, to program the network for certain quality. These agentic AI agents are coming in and they want to be able to say, I did talk to all these models near to the edge, far from the edge, regional. And as they get all this information, they basically break down a high level intent into a very autonomous task, and they get, the ability to reason on their own instead of programming it. And these agents are smart, and these agents have to get all this information, and they can't be blocked from an information because of the network. And so the ability to program the network to say, I want a quality of this and a delay, jitter, bandwidth is going to be very important, because models are not large language models anymore. They're large multimodal models, which means they support voice, video, images, text, all of these things. And so this becomes very, very important, that the networks are very high quality. So we're very exciting times, to be honest with you, that our MEF network as a service has to handle all of these underlays, these overlays for application assurances like AI, cybersecurity, protect the networks, the business network to be protected, so that there's no malware and threats coming through, especially for AI agents. And then finally, all of this is in a cloud-like experience and connected to all kinds of clouds. So really a lot going on. I know everything has to be automated. So believe me, I'm up very late all the time.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a huge technological revolution. It's so interesting to see what's coming next. It seems like something big every month almost.
Yes, and I can imagine you're covering so much of this, so you must be having so much fun too.
It really is fun. Well, if there was one key takeaway you could leave our audience with today, what would that be?
That, the world is moving very fast. The MEF, network as a service blueprint, enables many providers and enterprises. We also have an enterprise group also joined MEF. They all want to deliver a very fast, agile, cloud-like network. And to do that, we provide the blueprint for that with all the automation APIs, the certifications, the standards, the assets. And this allows everybody to get onto this network as a service journey. And that's very important, because really networks have to be very agile and fast and be on demand now. They can't be 3 months and 6 months provision stuff. And unlike the internet, which is just, pour your packets in and hope they come out, business networks can't operate that way. They have to be very deterministic. And to do that, we have to do all of this automation, all of this really complex stuff. So it's a daunting task, but lots of fun.
Yeah, there's so much data back and forth and messaging, and everything is so fast paced.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing all this news and your insights with our audience today.
Oh, absolutely a pleasure, Amanda, and always a pleasure to talk to you.
You too. And stay tuned, there's more.